these come up really nicely. It doesn't take the egg yolks long, it's just that you have to make sure to do them enough. Make sure that they're going to be, have some air, some good volume. You'll know you've got it right when the eggs have turned from dark yellow, where they're at right now, to being a very light pale yellow. The pale yellow tells you there's air incorporated in there. It changes color because the light is reflecting off the surface differently and dispersing the light instead of giving you direct reflection. So I don't know if you can see it well enough in the monitor, but the color is definitely lightened up quite a bit. This is exactly the same kind of thing you'd be doing if you're making chocolate mousse. Chocolate mousse, we do egg yolks just like this. And we're going to bring it up to what we call ribbon stage. The ribbon stage involves getting the egg yolks to a point where they start to form, I say, ribbons in the bowl, but also when we pull the whip up, it'll come down like a long ribbon, like a long string. We'll get some good volume out of this. Like that, but remember that these have a lot more air in them than the holidays, so...
I meant prior to adding the fat.
Prior to adding the fat, similar. Yeah, except, you know, it's warm, but other than that, it's very similar texture. Yeah, it's like a very sweet version of it. If you were going to make traditional, really traditional buttercream, the French like to make buttercream out of the yolks as well. They'll make a meringue out of egg yolks, and then they'll add butter to that. It's really bad for you, but it's really good. It tastes really wonderful. So I think this is about ready. And what you'll see is this makes long strings. You wouldn't do that normally if it wasn't whipped. Yeah, if it wasn't whipped, it wouldn't do these long ribbons like that. But it's extremely full of, it's really well foamed here. And there's not a lot of structure the same way as in the egg whites. The egg whites have a lot more structure to them. Now I'm going to do this in parts. I'm going to probably do about half of it. Set that aside. I'm going to fold this in. And when I fold in the bowl like this, I'm just going to fold a little differently. You can fold it any way you like, but as long as you're doing the job and getting it done efficient. So what I do is that when I fold like this, I go down from the center and I pull up the side and I actually clean the sides of my bowl as I go around, turning the bowl with every stroke.
Do you not want to fold your spatula over?
I don't bother because if I do that, it takes me so long. I just bring it up and I let the material just fall over into like a ribbon. I found that I used to do it this way, and I used to have to spin it around and it gets caught in my glove, but it just takes me too long.
If you use more volume that way?
I find that if I'm careful and I'm really gentle with it, I do just fine. But
The other way.
oh, folding over? Folding over is fine. It just takes a little longer. And I think if you're going, you could lose volume just because of the time factor. I find folding like that, if you're only doing a small amount, or you're not in a very big hurry, that folding over and spinning your spatula can be perfectly fine. It works just fine. But you see how I fold. I just bring it over.
Wait, so we don't have to put our hands in this?
You don't have to.
Yes! Woo!
So you see this came together really nicely. Really nice and efficient, very quickly. But the idea is I'm coming up the side, cleaning my bowl with my spatula and draping it over, spinning the bowl. Just don't be afraid to turn the bowl. Make sure you turn the bowl, because if you don't, what will happen is it'll fold it right here in one spot, but it won't fold all the way around. And you need to fold all the way around. Now comes the flour and the cocoa. This is where your belly comes in. You can just hold it with your belly, put a little bit of flour in, and start folding in. You just got to sort of turn it with your body. If you have a partner, it makes it easier, of course, but remember, you always get used to doing it yourself from time to time, because you will be alone sometime, right? There's always going to come a time when you don't have a partner.
I did it at home. It was funny. Pretty neat. My mom kind of laughed. She was like,
Well, you should wash your arm nice and good before you stick it in there.
Wow. That is what she said. Quite literally.
Now, like all folding, your arm is going to get tired.
You're tired right now?
Oh yeah, it's going to get tired. You're going to feel it all the way up to your neck.
Really just started laughing.
I was just waiting for it.
I know.
Yeah, that pain, just that extra bit of love you put into your cake.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you suffer for your cake.
That's right.
You know?
Makes it good.
Are we not worried about overworking it, or
I'm sorry?
are we not as concerned about overworking it?
Oh, we still want to be concerned about overworking it. Yeah. So I'm folding. I'm trying to be as efficient as I can to get all this flour in here. I mean, I'm talking while I'm doing it, but still really paying attention to the pace at which my flour goes in and making sure it's all properly mixed. There's a little bit in there. I'll get that last little bit in there. Still trying to make sure my flour is well mixed, but gentle and
That's what she said.
this is a little more of a stable foam, but it's not any easier to fold stuff in. Cocoa, as you know, is always challenging because it's extremely dry. So it doesn't like to mix in with anything wet. So it's going to resist you, and it's going to make your life a little bit more challenging.
I can't.
The first person I look at, I'm like,
Pretty much. It's just gonna-
You're selling it off.
What's that thing you're crushing?
It looks a little like chocolate mousse, but it's better. My chocolate mousse is much better than this. There are a few people who, they're not here anymore, but I made chocolate mousse one time for the wines class to try with quartz and cherries, and it was so rich, people couldn't even finish one portion. It was so much chocolate. It was beyond chocolate.
Okay, so why didn't you do that for us last year?
You're going to do that this year, right?
I guess I could.
All right. I'll be here for that one.
It's a killer chocolate mousse.
Hey, we got to see a wrecked car and a blue sky.
Oh, yeah.